Hey guys, sorry about that. Technical difficulties on my end. First time streaming, a little bit nervous, but that's okay. We're going to get through all of this. First of all, I want to say congrats to Joan. That is so super exciting. Um, Say hi to Jory. She's here. Anyone else that is here, go ahead and say hi in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. And we're going to get started right away because we are late. First up, I wanted to talk just a little bit about some news that is going on in the silhouette world. The Silhouette Summit was held the 3rd through the 5th. It was in Japan. I was not invited. No surprise there. I seem to be the black sheep, but that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. Um, they did introduce the Cameo 5 Alpha, and it's supposed to have updated cutting force. It's supposed to be quieter, new registration marks. I did order it. It will be here on Thursday. Super excited. And if this live goes well, we can do another live next week and unbox it together. That should be fun. And say hi to Shelly and Linda, Andrea. So excited everybody's here. This is so much fun. In other news, I am working towards creating a more interactive community. This is the first step. So this will give us a chance to hang out together. You guys can ask questions and get them answered in real time. Let's say hi to Sandy. Today we are working on a few different fonts. I grabbed them all from Creative Fabrica, and I believe the links are in the description, but I wanted to show them off a little bit because they're super fun. I put them all on little bookmarks here. This one is the Dingbat font. It is Enchanted. Those are super fun. This one I did not use in the designs today, but it's Spooky Halloween, more of a script font. We have Wicked Halloween, Wicked Broom, and Rotmeyer. This one is actually my favorite. This is the main one we're using in today's design. And we're going to go over how to warp some things in Silhouette Studio and just overall create a door hanger. It's a lot of fun. And you'll be able to recreate the design on your own. Okay, so again, if I am a little bit off here, forgive me. First time, we will get better and better at this each time. Let's go over to Silhouette Studio now. If I can get it up on my screen. There we go. And open up a new page. This is the one we're going to be working with. Let's copy and paste it over here. We have welcome at the top in the Rotmeyer font and come in for a spell. That one was Wicked Broomstick, I do believe. Wicked Broom is the name of it. So those are the two that we're going to be using today. And I did grab some cobwebs, spider webs as well. And these are fairly simple. You can grab these off of Google Images and trace them, or you can actually get them from Creative Fabrica as well. It was just a little added detail in the design. I'm going to see if I can get my comment section up here as well while I'm doing this. I seem to be struggling with the technology of all this. Okay, that still did not pull up my comments. All right, let's get through the designing of this, and then we will check back in on the comments. If you have any questions as we go along, just type them in the comments, and I will try to get to all of them one by one after we're done with the process. I did start with an ellipse from the drawing tool. Hold down your shift key to make the perfect circle, and I set mine to 12 inches just because it filled up the design mat well. We can center that to the mat, and that's going to be important later on. Let's change the color over to black so we have the nice base for our sign. We can grab a cursor and type out welcome. You'll have to click off of it and click back on to change the font. And I am going with Rotmeyer here, and I'm going to switch up the color on that too because I really like the green against the black there. Now I pulled that out just about as big as I could get it so that it covered the top half of the sign pretty well. And then we're going to open up the warp panel and warp selected shapes. Your grid is going to pop up like this, and I like some more control over my shapes, so I bump the columns up, and I set it at 4 because I really like this orange square in the center here. I'm going to start pulling these up to the top, and I always start with the orange squares and then move over to the red circles. And the goal is to just get this to kind of follow the shape of the circle up on top there. Once we have the top set up so that it follows the arc, you can see that the bottom gets kind of wonky. And if you just grab some of these circles that are up in here, you can pull them down to the bottom, and that's going to straighten your bottom line back out. And you can play with all the rest of them to get it to cover more of the circle area. And the nice thing about using this font is that it's kind of drippy and wonky to start with. So even if it's not perfect, it's going to look just fine when you're all done. You can adjust the center dots as well. You just go ahead and play with all of these little dots and squares within this grid until it looks just the way you want it. If you want to see it without the grid, you can just click off of it. You can see what you're working with there, and to bring the grid back, just click back on it. I like the way that looks, so I'm going to click off of it, and we can work on come in for a spell next. Again, we're going to grab our cursor and just type that out. This time we are using Wicked Broom. We can go up to the top and type that in. Click on Enter. And I'm going to pull it off to the side for just a minute. I did use one of the glyphs for spell. Let's click over to the glyph panel here. And if you do not have the upgraded version, I think you need Designer Edition to have the glyph tab. If you do not have that, you can go down to your task manager here where it says search and type in character map. Click on that and then it will bring up all of these characters. You'll want to type in which font you're working with, but then you can scroll through and see all of the characters that are in that font, and you can use your glyphs that way. Having the upgraded edition just makes it a little bit easier to get to. But I'm going to scroll all the way down to the glyph section, and you can see here I have a double L. And the second L is kind of nested. And I'm going to use that instead of this double L. So double click to bring the cursor back up, backspace to get rid of those, and then just click on that. And now our glyph is in place. I'm going to set this to white and enlarge it just a little bit so we can see what's going on. Now I'm going to ungroup these because I want to work with each line individually. And then I'm going to group each line back together. Now I can kind of set each one in place. I want 4A to be smaller. And spell and come in a little bit larger. Now we can just work on getting these set right where they need to be. And I would bring in my cobwebs at this point, but I'm going to, oh, you know what? I do need to do that so I can show you how to cut them off. Let's merge, find the file. I've apparently downloaded a lot of stuff since I used the spider web. Here we go. Double click on that. It comes in black. It's a little bit hard to see. Let's switch that over to white. And we can scale that down. And duplicate it and set one over to the other side. And I'm going to make that one even smaller. And you can just set them wherever you think it looks best. I am going to take a second to group these back together and move it out of the way just a little bit. Now we're going to need a second copy of our base. Let's select that and duplicate it and set this one off to the side for a minute. We're going to select both of our spider webs and send those to the back. Now we can select the circle and open up our modify panel and crop. Now that's going to make sure that our spider webs fit right along the edge of our sign. They're still selected, so we can switch those over to white. And since we centered our base to our design area to begin with, we can select this base and center that, right click and send it to the back, and that's it for the design. It's super simple. And really a ton of fun. I'm going to actually make, I'm actually going to make the sign for my front door. I haven't got there yet, but I am working on it. I got all the supplies anyway. Let me get back over to where I can see the comments. Okay, so if we have any questions, now is the time to ask. I have gotten back to where I can see the comments. I've been focusing on fonts a little bit more lately because it is a lot of fun to just make designs with fonts. It's you can mix and match, and the warp panel is a huge asset. You can the way we rounded welcome but kept it flat at the bottom, we pretty much filled up the top of the sign. I did also make some Halloween treat bag tags. I'm not going to try to say that 5 times fast. That's entirely too much. But I used the Wicked Broom on these as well, and I used the sketch fill so that I could just sketch them out with the Cameo 5 and cut them. And it does take a little bit of time, but it's something fun to do if you want your machine to be running while you're doing something else. You know, I'm going to check on what level it is that has the glyphs in there, because I can never remember off the top of my head. And my internet is running super slow. Am I lagging or anything? Because wow, my internet is crazy slow right now. They have switched their website around so much, I can't even find. I found the graph that shows what is in each upgrade, but I cannot find the glyph feature. Okay, it is designer edition. Sorry that took so long. Okay, so when I put the cobwebs behind the base, I used crop. That's in the modify panel. When you're using the modify panel, you want to remember it's kind of like a cookie cutter. Whatever is on top is going to cut away from the bottom shapes. Yeah, the glyph panel is super helpful and it's a lot of fun to play with. Um, if you guys get a chance, you should look at the Enchanted font as well. There are other Dingbat fonts for Halloween. This is the one I grabbed, and it's mostly magical stuff. It's got some gems and books and moons and stars and all of that kind of stuff. But they're a lot of fun to design with as well. So, again, if you guys are interested in seeing more lives, I would love to go live once a week on Tuesdays, probably. That seems to be working with my schedule. Mondays are always too hectic coming back from the weekend. Um, the live streams are a little bit easier to get up and running on a regular basis. There's less editing and all of that stuff. Probably the same amount of prep, a little bit less on the editing side. For everything to become more interactive, the lives are part of that. Another part is I've started a Patreon. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Patreon, but there are two tiers right now. There's a free tier where I will share at least one SVG a month for free and small tips and tricks over there. The content will be different than what's on Facebook or YouTube, so it's just another stream of information. There is going to be a paid tier as well, and that one will have at least 4 SVGs dropped a month, one every week, on Monday. And I am really just learning how to use Patreon, but I do believe it's a more interactive community than both Facebook and YouTube. So that's something I will be working on and learning as I go. Well, Joan, I'm going to be messaging you and asking you all about Patreon because I am kind of lost. I did get it up and running, and the first post put up there. Things are still in the working stages. I think the first actual drop goes live next Monday is when I scheduled it for. Is anyone considering getting the Cameo 5 Alpha? Or are we still waiting to see what it can do? I I was not going to purchase it initially. The way they brought it out, it doesn't seem like there are a whole lot of new additions, and I was kind of like, yeah, I've got the 5. It's not that big of a difference. But to bring information, I have to stay current. So that's kind of where that all came from. I do want to bring you guys all of the information and be able to give a review, let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think that's why I'm the black sheep of Silhouette, because I just say whatever I feel. So if you are coming from a 3 or a 4, I would probably go ahead and upgrade all the way to the Alpha, because there does seem to be some differences. Um, and honestly, I've been looking on Amazon, and the price has not dropped on the Cameo on Amazon yet. The Cameo 5, it's still at the same price point. I'm going to double check that real quick too. Yep. Right now on Amazon, the Cameo 5 is $269, and the Cameo 5 Alpha is sitting at $249. So that's kind of crazy. You know, my 3 still works fine too. I have the 3, the 4, the 5, and now the 5 Alpha is on its way. I don't know if I should start like a whole silhouette museum or if I should start raffling these machines off to get them out of here. I don't know. I hate that they're just sitting there. They all work perfectly fine, and I usually only use one at a time, so I'm not going to stay on here too much longer, but one more thing I wanted to run by you guys as a whole is, do you guys enjoy the live streams over regular videos, but also would you guys enjoy doing a group Zoom call maybe once a month? Because I really enjoy the Zoom calls where I can see who I'm talking to. We can all talk to each other one-on-one instead of typing in the comments. That's another fun option that's a little bit more interactive. It's like sewing machines. It's also like Pringles, right? You can't just have one. No, that Lay's. What brand of potato chip was that? It's not in the UK yet. How long does it usually take to get to the UK after the release? Lay's. As soon as I said Pringles, I knew it wasn't right. Has anybody else heard what else they brought out at the summit? I've heard they've came out with additional rollers that you can attach to any of the Cameo 5s or higher. And I read something about the heat pens, but I really haven't gone and done a deep dive on what they released yet. I was hoping to get to that this afternoon. But if you've heard anything besides the Alpha, I would love to know about it because I've not gotten onto YouTube to research that yet. Hey, Trina. All right, so just to wrap up, we're sitting at over just 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. We are we're just over 7,000 on Facebook, so all of that is super exciting. We are growing as a community, and I love that, but I do want to become more interactive. So if you're not over on Facebook, that's where most of the information comes out on. Head over there and either follow the page or join the Silhouette group, Silhouette Success group. And I will be updating over there as to when we're going to start Zoom classes. And I've had a lot of fun doing the live, so we will definitely do this again next Tuesday. Hopefully I have got all of the bugs worked out. The first time going live is always kind of crazy. And if you joined in late, I will be posting the replay of this. And if you are watching the replay at a later time, make sure you say hi in the comments and let me know where you're viewing from as well. I think it's time to go create something amazing. I'll talk to you guys later.